Another Ants on a Rock video. Welcome to the Ant Corner. Massive multi-species Vivarium, Episode 11, Drones and Tank Maintenance. Hey there ant fans, as you can see, my plants in my big tank have overgrown again. I mean, it's absolutely mental in here. I've got plants which I didn't even plant growing out of everywhere, and ants have started to escape. So let's have a little look round, and then I'm going to cut it all back, and I'll show you some awesome footage at the end. So make sure you stay for all of that as well. So here we've had these plants just kind of sprout up. They might be tomato plants, they might be cucumber plants. They've kind of sprouted up where I feed the isopods. So they could be anything really, but we'll have to get rid of them. The ferns have gone absolutely mad. As you can see, the glass is filthy again. That's just because I haven't gone in for a massive clean. Of course, ignore all the reflections. It's hard to get a good camera, whatever, no reflections on this. And then I think this is the main culprit. We have this large thornless blackberry bush poking up really high, pretty much touching the roof. And basically, like I say, the ants are starting to escape. It's not been a constant move like it was before. Here is the nest as well. We can't even see where the nest is, but they have started expanding up the side of the glass, which I managed to stop them going any higher by putting some rubbing alcohol above them, and they just stopped building any higher. So that was really easy to stop, and really lucky actually. So yeah, they have been slowly starting to escape. Like I say, not a mass move like you might think they would do, but just occasionally I'm finding the odd Polyrhachis dive walking around, and that's not the best thing in my house with kids. So I've sped it up for you to save a little bit of the waiting around for the good footage. I'm just going to go in with my trusty orange scissors and my tweezers and my hands. I do check every piece of leaf as I take it out, and I put it in a separate isolation unit in case there's any stick insects or any other bugs or eggs living on it. After it spends a couple of weeks in my isolation unit, it all goes into the isopod bin and it just breaks down in there. They eat all the rotten remains, and yeah, it works really well. So as you can see, I've sped this really fast. It's starting to come together already. Cutting right back so that we can see the nest. Cutting this massive fern back. It's started sprouting off little seedlings all over the place as well, so I'll just keep cutting them down until eventually they die off and the isopods eat them to the roots, basically. That's my plan with them. I won't want to pull them out, because as you pull them out, it disrupts so much of the soil, and we have so many insects living in the soil now. I don't really want to be messing about with it too much, and it just makes the tank really hard to kind of keep looking the way it is if I pull up all the soil all the time. So as you can see, I am taking off huge areas, and now I'm cleaning glass. So huge difference from the start. I will show you a before and after in 2 seconds. So here is the before shot, and here is the after. I cut back loads, but this just means it can grow out again, which it really won't take long. So now it's cut back, let's have a little look round. Here's the nest. Looks quite busy at the moment. I don't really know what they're up to, but that's pretty cool looking nest. Obviously they've moved out of the area behind. As you can see, it's all broken up and fallen apart, where it hasn't been constantly maintained on the silk. And that's completely normal. They do move their nests about as the leaves they use sort of deteriorate away. So they've got that as the main nest, and as you can see, they are moving back and forth into the satellite nest, which we can now see as well. It climbs all the way up the side of the tank, and as I said before, I did stop it going any higher by just rubbing a bit of rubbing alcohol above it, and that stopped them wanting to go any higher. Here is the nest from a slightly different angle. You can see how it uses the leaves and uses them to maintain the structure. I think it's really cool. And then they've used their larva to weave with silk all the pieces of debris into place with the leaves, holding it into the structure, which I thought was really cool as I was revealing it and cutting it all back. And I was very careful cutting back that I didn't affect the nest build in any way. As you can see, I also left some of the debris and leaves, and this will just help rot down and mulch down and make the land really fertile again, and it's great for the isopods and stuff. Here are loads of blackberry seeds which have fallen out of the blackberries, completely natural process. I expect if they landed in soil they probably would sprout, and I expect quite a few have landed in the soil as well, so we could end up with loads more thornless blackberry bushes that we're going to have to maintain and keep under control. Great fun, and I'm looking forward to it. And one more quick look before we move on to all the awesome footage that I have. As you can see, I did cut it back really quite low down, and that's just to make sure that it's away from this barrier. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they won't escape anymore. And moving on. So I spotted this in the tank and I thought it was really cute. This isn't a mealworm, this is actually a Mario worm, really young Mario worm. So yeah, I just wanted to film it and show you this because I thought it was really cute how small it is. Even compared to isopods, it was absolutely tiny. Now, quite a regular feature in this tank is Mr. Crabs. We're starting to see Mr. Crabs coming out and walking around the entire tank regularly. As you've seen in other episodes, he does this all the time. He's quite comfortable and happy. I hadn't actually seen the other two crabs that we had. I had suspected that they might be dead. But watching in one day, a second crab appeared. So I'm quite hopeful that we still got all three alive and well. As you can see, this one looks nothing like Mr. Krabs. It's not got the same coloration or the same markings at all. It looks completely different and it is slightly smaller. I don't know why this is. Maybe it's a new molt and it's just only just hardening up and it will get the brighter colours as it grows. Compare that to Mr. Krabs, who has bright red claws and this cool red spot or lighter spot on his head. And his eyes are a different colour and his body's black. So just completely different. He's also a bit larger. These crabs seem to eat pretty much anything they can find, constantly eating algae and bits of the dying mosses. They also love a bit of waxworm, which I do try and put a couple around the pond area just for them specifically. But as I said before, they have been seen venturing all around the tank, where they find food all over the place, and you can see them just doing this, picking little bits up and just having a little nibble, which is pretty cool. Now, when it comes to feeding in the tank, I do like to mix it up a bit, but I do always make sure there's cucumber available, just because I know that my isopods absolutely love cucumber. They also love courgettes, tomatoes, and just about everything else I chuck in the tank. But I know cucumbers mainly water, and as they don't actually get to go into the test tubes much and that sort of thing, I like to put in bits of cucumber regularly, just to make sure that they are getting all the water that they need, even though it hasn't got much nutrients. but they find that in all the other foods that are provided. So this is mainly their source of water. But the ants have also started taking to the cucumber, which is quite funny really, because I put in so much more food for them, and they still want the cucumber. They've never really gone for it before, but I think because they're such a large colony now, they're pretty much willing to try anything. As you can see, there are isopods everywhere. Like, the tank is absolutely rammed with isopods. I mean, I'm overcome with isopods myself, let alone the tank. So it's not a bad thing. I can use them and maintain them and put them in other places. As you can see from this video, the Polyrhachis Dives are still really hungry. They devoured this roach in just a couple of hours, and you can see how they did it. They just swarm absolutely everything I put in. If I put in 2 or 3 small pinkies, they'll be gone in just a couple of hours as well. These things are relentless, and I'll tell you why in just a second. As you may have noticed in the title, they're producing drones, and quite possibly alates, which I haven't actually seen any of yet, but I have got some cool footage of the drones, which I'm going to talk to you about in just a minute. Now, this has been seen a couple of times by myself when looking at the nest. You can see it's absolutely hectic, and there's some winged drones. These are male ants. These aren't females, these are males. And by the looks of it, they're actually looking for females to mate with. You can see it might be that they're trying to sting them. It might be. I'd like you to let me know what you think it is. It might be that they're climbing on the females, trying to sting them. Or it might be that they're searching for alates, queens, potential queens, and that they're trying to mount the females for this reason. After seeing that they're not mateable, they're letting go. Is this what's happening? I'm not really sure. Or are they attacking them? They also do seem to attack any of the ones carrying larvae, which is also quite interesting, because you'd think that they'd try and protect the colony, not harm it. So if you watch this one carrying a larva, we might see it. There you go. As you can see, the drone at the top, they're trying to take the larva from the worker. The worker is defending it really well. And manages to get it back into the nest. Now, I thought that was very strange behaviour, so if anyone can tell me what's happening there, please do get in touch. The lights just changed because it's quite late in the evening. The night lights have just come on half an hour before the main lights turn off. As you can see, there is quite a few drones, and drones take up quite a lot of potential resources for the colony. So it's not a bad thing that they produce drones, but it's not an amazingly great thing either. There are those 2 drones, they're having a little scrap as well. I was really impressed to see this anyways. I mean, I had seen lots of drones and dead drones being carried out of the nest, so I don't know if that means that they've already mated with potential queens within the nest, and I could have more than 3 queens now. I really don't know the situation, and I probably will never know the situation, but I thought this was really, really cool. So give me a comment, let me know what you're thinking is going on. Really cool behaviour, I'm glad I'm able to share it with you. And if you think this is cool, feel free to press that subscribe button, because I do try and get some good footage for you, and I'll always try and put something like this in videos in the future. So press that little subscribe button, hit the little bell icon, and help me get my subscribers up to 250, where I'm going to do the next big giveaway. Now, there's about a minute left of footage that I'm going to let you just enjoy. Like I said, I thought this was really cool, interesting behaviour, and I sat there and watched it for the whole night. So I hope you enjoyed just watching this bit of crazy footage, and seeing what you think's happening. Don't forget to leave me that comment as well. And as always, see you again, ant fans.